Wali is an Arabic word with a number of meanings, including protector, helper, a man close to God, or holy man. Wali is someone who has walayah, which means authority or guardianship over somebody else. And in Islamic jurisprudence, Wali means an authorized agent of the bride in concluding a marriage contract where the Wali traditionally selects the bridegroom. The concept of guardianship of a woman is derived from Surah An-Nisa chapter 4 verse 34 of the Quran, which states that men are the protectors and maintainers of women because God has given the one more strength than the other, and because they support them from their means. Completing a marriage is not as easy as one might expect, because an Islamic marriage requires 5 pillars, namely the bride, the groom, wali, 2 witnesses, and ijab kabul. If there is a lack of one of the pillars, then the marriage is not valid, and among the pillars that often arise and become the subject of conversation in our society is the absence of wali. The presence of a wali is very important in a marriage, and there are several propositions showing the importance of wali. Allah says in the Quran chapter 2 verse 232, "And when you divorce women and they have fulfilled their term, do not prevent them from remarrying their former husbands if they agree among themselves on an acceptable basis that is instructed to whoever of you believes in Allah and the last day that is better for you and purer. And Allah knows and you know not." Al-Baqarah 232. This verse explains that Allah SWT forbids the wali of the woman from forbidding her from marrying her ex-husband. This verse also explains that a woman does not have the right to marry herself, but becomes the right of her guardian. If the guardian is not required to marry a woman, surely there is no verse about this prohibition. In addition, the need for a wali in this marriage can also be based on several hadiths. Among them is Rasulullah SAW said, which means marriage is not valid except with the wali. Well, now we know the definition and position of wali in marriage. However, what is the difference between the concept of wali in Islam and the concept of guardian in Western? In Islam, wali was already determined since the birth of the child, and people who can be the wali are firstly the father who has full parental responsibility, parental grandfather, brother, and other paternal relatives, paternal grandfather, executor or nominee, and the last one is the court. All those members will take place by following the order from wali qarib to wali abad, who is other than the father and grandfather. The guardianship in Islam is until the children have their own family and they therefore should be independent from their parents. In Western, guardianship is merely for children who are under the age of 18, and when they turn 18, the guardianship ends automatically. However, there is a system in the selection of people to be a guardian. Obviously, they should consider the closest one among relatives to be chosen, but in the Western, there is no such a certain structure to become the child's guardian, which means anyone can be appointed by parents or the courts as long as the person in charge is trusted to do so. The only thing which makes the concept of wali in Islam a better safeguard is that if people consider Islam as the way of life and implement it properly, because Islam has always taught and reminded us to protect our dignity by getting married, because many people nowadays are preoccupied with something prohibited or haram, which is having a relationship. So in this case, wali is playing an important role to guide and advise the next generation of Islam from committing this zina. Western people neither accept nor reject the concept of wali in Islam, but they are always trying to modify it in order to suit the current era. For example, they know the children should be guided at home, but most of the parents unfortunately nowadays just let their daughter stay with a man in the same roof without getting married. So, it is undoubtedly why many Western do not want to marry, because they think, why should I marry if I can live with my lover in one house? The issue where a daughter was forced to marry an unloved man is very common happening in our society. We know that the intention and purpose of wali doing so are actually good, but the effect on their daughter might be terrible. However, some people choose to marry their lover without considering their parents as the first wali to present during their ijab kabul. Hence, there is nothing to wonder why some people want to abolish the wali system, since it has blocked the rights of the woman in choosing a spouse to live with. The main laws that have been made by Allah are absolutely and unchangeable, and wali is one of them. Although there are some people who say the wali system looks tacky, but it is still needed in the family institution in order to guide the next generation of Islam to live based on the Quran and Sunnah. Otherwise, chaos may occur in Islamic society if we try to get rid of one of his laws. On the other hand, the thing that could overcome this problem is a mutual understanding between the children and wali, so that they can decide and agree on anything they do without coercion. Therefore, as a good parent or wali, we should understand and be considerate about our beloved daughter's feeling before we hurt her, not on purpose. Wali must be fundamental to a marriage because it has a lot of role in marriage. Wali will act as a protector for the Muslim woman to safeguard their interests. Wali is in the position to advise his wife to marry a person with such characteristic of piety, has a strong knowledge of Islam and committed to practicing Islam teachings. A woman is weak physically, socially and psychologically, which the main reason why we need a wali in a marriage. Other than that, wali will also represent as a negotiator, mediator or protector in negotiating the dawah or mahar and any other related matters. Woman bestowed with feminine nature which embodies softness and shyness. Shyness is a natural attribute of a woman which cannot be erased easily. It is afraid because of the shyness, the woman will jeopardize her rights in negotiating her marriage contracts. Furthermore, having a wali may also avoid deceit. Wali is vital to guard his wife from being a victim from marrying a person who is morally and socially unfit for the woman. Wali also is to protect her progeny or nasab from any problem or shame. Hence, Sharia laws have made it as an obligation to the close relatives of the woman to be their wali because they are among those who love them the most. The requirement of wali as a pillar of marriage can be considered as protecting the interests or maslahah of the woman. Al-Ghazali defines maslahah as consideration that secure benefits or prevent harm which align with the objectives of the Sharia. The existence of wali is important to avoid negative consequences on the wives in the future. This is because wali could give consent to the marriage and it indicates the blessings to such a marriage. Wali also reflects close relationship in family ties. The wali will have authority on the bride, may further strengthen the relationship between the wali and his wife. The consent of wali can be considered a direct form of blessing from the family members. Thus, good and strong relationship will flourish easily as if the marriage has obtained approval from the very beginning.